The 3 principles are called mind, consciousness, and thought. Mind is the energy and intelligence behind life. You could think of it like the electricity that runs through us, that runs through everything, the animating force that makes us alive, that lives us. We don't have to do anything to change ourselves every day, to digest our food, to grow our hair, to grow our nails, to do anything. There's an intelligence, a divine intelligence behind life, but not an intelligence that's like, oh, you know, let me try and figure this out. No, I'm not talking about intellect. I'm talking about a divine intelligence that we can see in nature. I see it every day here. There were 2 birds today that I saw that were cleaning each other. How do they know how to do that? How do they know what parts to clean? There's murmurations here on the beach. How do those birds know how to fly in sequence with each other? How do they know how to feed their babies outside my garden? How do my dogs know when it's time for sleep and when it's time for eating? How do the seasons know when to change? How does the moon connect to the sea so beautifully and perfectly? We blindly stumble forwards as if that same intelligence doesn't guide us too. And this is obviously an innocent misunderstanding, an innocent mistake. But it's like you have an inbuilt battery pack. It never changes. It never dies unless we die. And when we realize that we have an infinite battery pack, we actually do much better because we're not scrabbling around trying to control, trying to manipulate, feeling alone, feeling isolated. So mind is the energy and intelligence behind life, a connection to source that you have always got. Consciousness is our awareness. It is what has us experience all of our emotions. It's that principle, that energy that's within us that we can sometimes catch our own thinking. It's built into the system. It helps you wake up to yourself and life at deeper and deeper levels. It's like the elevator of consciousness. It's how I understand if I wake up in a low mood and I'm in the basement, or I wake up in a higher mood and I can see more clearly everything, knowing that that doesn't mean anything about me. It's consciousness that brings me back to that awareness. It is our awareness. It's built into the system and it does the heavy lifting for us, but we can be seduced by consciousness. If, for example, if you watched a scary movie, they're not my cup of tea personally. I don't like scary movies, but it's because I know that my consciousness is such that I will feel scared. And I don't want to feel scared. But I love a good rom-com, and I know I might cry and feel happy. It's consciousness that's doing that. And then this thought, probably the most common one that you'll have heard me either speaking about or other people speaking about, the teachers speaking about, particularly in the principles community. Now, we usually think about thought as if it is our personal thoughts about things, circumstances, life, that creates our experience of life. And so often, if we think it's our personal thinking, we will say things like, if only I had better thinking about ... which is the popular psychology, many of the spiritual paradigms, change your thoughts, change your life, etc. So a lot of us have this innocent belief that if I change my thoughts, that would change everything. And no, That's not it. It may change your experience temporarily, but it wouldn't shift it to a deeper knowing. It's starting to see that the thing itself is made of thought, the principle of thought, the creative potential energy for you to have any experience whatsoever. It is everything you can ever think about, which is in and of itself made of capital T, thought, the principle of thought. And thus it can change in a heartbeat. And that is why, I have had several insights around this truth, this description of how life works, which has meant that my anxiety and my PTSD literally disappeared. My understanding deepened, my life changed, because I was looking for what is possible in the present and then into the future, rather than carrying around a belief about who I thought I was, which was based on old stuff and old thinking that I'd carried through time. It's the fact that you think which is important, not the content of your thinking that you take so seriously, because that is like quicksand. So those are the 3 principles. That is what we have got going for us. We have this intelligence inside of us that will guide us if we let it. We have this capacity to wake up to ourselves and our brilliance and our uniqueness more and more and more. And this incredible creative force is always on. And it's always creating your experience, moment by moment by moment. Thought comes in, energy arises, we have an experience, and it moves on through. It gets brought to life within us, and then it's gone. So it is like the clouds in the sky. Your thinking, your personal thinking is not the principle of thought, okay? The principle of thought is the gift that you have to create all of your content. But when we get sucked into the content, we feel ourselves going down. And it's consciousness that gives you that experience of going down. So I hope that's helpful.